What's up, everyone? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, post Wrestlemania. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo. With me, as always, the man said, Hulk, listen, hear me out. What if we just call them vitamins? The one and only Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's happening, man?
Yeah, man, it's been a day, but hell, I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you on, as always. Before we get too far into things, I want to say what's up to J-Reb. I want to say what's up to Aaron Marie. We've got Mary Youngblood. We've got Jello. Everybody hanging out in the chat. Dark Side jumping in. We got stuff popping up all over the place. It's one of them days, man. The
Yep.
magic is happening. Well, we're going to talk about some of those people that make the magic happen. I want to say some quick thank yous. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro, outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters. They are just about done with their second album. They're shooting some videos. You can see everything they've got going on, and I highly suggest you do by going to www.labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Thank you to Joe and American Legacy for the Not Your Average merch. We got new hats. We got trucker hats going on now. We got bandanas. We got all the things. So thank you to them. I want to say thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing. Do you see this little piece of awesome right here? That is a J-Reb original. My boy Cameron hooked us up, gave us that. If you have any kind of logo or some kind of picture you want to see in a light box doing cool shit like that, get a hold of J-Reb. That's my boy. That's jrebs3dprinting.com. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all our awesome graphics, thewrestlingsociety.com for including us in their podcast room. And most of all, thank you to the guy, Patrick. Appreciate what you do. And you may think to yourself, what does Patrick do? Well, he does everything. All the stuff you just saw pop up, that's all him. Our podcast looks awesome. That's because of Patrick. And most recently, we've got our website, of course, www.notyouraveragemark.com. And we have our Discord, which if you're not a part of, you should be. We do watch-alongs for Raw, SmackDown. We had our WrestleMania watch-along all weekend this weekend. It's always a good time. It's always good company. So if you're not a part of it already, go to any of our socials, click on About, and get the link for our Discord. Now, the Week in Wrestling, as that great philanthropist, Trick Williams would say, let's talk about it.
Let's do this.
So SmackDown. SmackDown kicks off with Randall Keith Orton. I can call him that because, you don't know where I live. So when he comes out, says Pat McAfee doesn't tell him what he wants to hear. He tells him what he needs to hear. Pat McAfee didn't tell me to do this. Pat McAfee told me what I needed to do to get here. Pat McAfee has got more heat than Dominic Mysterio did at the epitome of his heat.
I disagree.
I don't know.
Dominic had good heat. Pat had go home heat.
Yeah, Pat has go away heat. Don't come back heat. So as Orton is giving this pretty, I'm going to call it a good promo. Randy's not much of a promo guy. And this was a good one. He brings up Cody Rhodes. Of course, that's his opponent for Mania. And the crowd boos, which kind of threw me off a little bit because, Cody's the good guy. Cody's the face. Cody's the QB1. So hearing the crowd boo his name, and Randy made sure it wasn't a fluke, even came around again, went on a little bit with his promo and said Cody Rhodes again, and the crowd booed again. So a little odd there. But he starts talking about the fact that Cody gave him permission to be the Viper. And then he kind of thought about it. He's like, who does he think he is? He gave me permission to be me. And so he brings up WrestleMania 40, where he needs a tag team partner. He's got his boy. So who does he call? Seth Rollins, not Randy Orton. And then Solo Sikoa puts Randy through a table. Why? Because he was helping defend Cody Rhodes. And Kevin Owens tries to end his whole career. Why? Because he was helping Cody Rhodes. I believe the quote was, all Cody does is take.
And all Randy does is give.
That's pretty much it. And what Randy said he's going to give is the crowd the opportunity to see him bring home number 15 when he beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. How's he going to do that? 3 most dangerous letters in wrestling today are KO.
And the crowd said it with him.
Yes, they did. And then they said boo very, very loudly because we cut straight to Pat McAfee getting in a big red pickup truck and leaving. They really don't like that guy.
No, not in the least.
So what were your thoughts on Randy's opening for SmackDown?
All in all, I didn't like how it started. I felt like he did a good job telling the people, because we have a ton of casuals in Las Vegas for this SmackDown because it's WrestleMania weekend. A lot of these people don't watch anything other than WrestleMania. So he went through the entire timeline and told people what they needed to know about this match. And as long as Pat McAfee stayed out of it, they were all about Randy.
Yeah. That damn McAfee fella they don't like.
Yeah.
For good reason.
He shall not be named.
Yes. That takes us into the MFTs, Solo and the Boys versus the Wyatt Six. And I've always liked this particular rivalry. But I feel like we've come to the end of it. I feel like this was, for lack of better terms, the nail in the coffin on this particular rivalry.
Absolutely.
So we start off with the brawl. Everybody beating on everybody. And as you should in a match like this. What is the first thing the crowd says? You start getting everybody beating on everybody. First thing the crowd does is say, we want tables. Nobody listens. We ain't messing with the tables. But what we did mess with was Eric Rowan and Tama Tonga going at each other, which we've been waiting for how long now?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
It has. And they went at it. And then, of course, the fans start chanting for tables again. So we get something I rather enjoyed. Nikki Cross popping them shoulders back, bowling up to JC Mateo. JC Mateo's like, I don't know what to do. I can't. what I do?
Just take it. That's what you're going to do.
Pretty much. So Solo hits Uncle Howdy with the kendo stick a lot. And he missed the running butt bump and allowed Uncle Howdy to go crazy with chair shots. Like he whooped the hell out of him with the chair. And I for one was here for it. I thought it was a good move. And then you get Nikki Cross diving on to a couple of the members outside. Like Nikki Cross was the MVP in this match, as far as Wyatt Six goes, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tama goes to hit the finish, right? He's got Uncle Howdy down. He's getting off in the corner, getting ready to do it. And Solo Sikoa runs in 1, 2, 3. MFTs win, and Tama Tonga is not a happy person about this, not at all, even a little bit.
No, not in the least. Because he had that thing lined up and everything else, and Solo came in and just stole all the glory. There's going to be hell to pay for that later.
Yeah. They're setting this up very nicely for a MFT Solo Sikoa breakup, which I'm here for. Like let's do that. Now, my one concern about this match was there was a point at which Eric Rowan went outside of the ring, immediately reached for his knee. We didn't see him again after that. So I'm hoping he's okay.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't heard any reports saying otherwise, but I'm hoping he's all right. Let's look over to the chat for a minute. We've got Jello saying, been so long, I forgot how this works. It has been a minute. We've been having life and gremlins and all sorts of things going on. But I am glad that you're all here with me now. Erin Marie saying, hey. J-Reb says, let's go. Darkside Link saying, I like the new microphone, Mike. He likes the mic.
I appreciate it.
Jello saying the crowd didn't hate McAfee because he was a heel. They hated McAfee because he was McAfee. You are not wrong. And then Darkside saying Mike is very quiet.
Yeah, I turned it up. Hopefully that works a little bit more.
We will find out as we move on to what I thought was a good promo. It's a good way to start a promo. We get the cop car coming in. Pulls up, parks on the stage. Out of the back seat jumps none other than the Samoan werewolf himself, Jacob Fatu. And this worked out well for me with all the things Drew said in his video promo, which the video promos are outstanding, by the way. But everything he said about him being an animal, needed to be put in a cage, needs to be locked up. He's a hoodlum, all these kind of things. It was good to see him jump out of the back of the cop car, then climb up on the cop car and cut his promo. Said he's not ashamed of his past. He's not afraid of it. He ain't lived that life no more. That's not who he is anymore. However, karma space. He said getting put in cuffs by Drew McIntyre didn't bother him in the least. And that there's not going to be anybody to come save Drew McIntyre from their unsanctioned fight that they're going to have at WrestleMania. And when somebody the size of Jacob Fatu, with that crazy boy look in his eyes, says, ain't nobody going to save you, it's time to start worrying, in my opinion. We even got a Too Short quote. Too Short's a rapper from early 2000s, for those who aren't real aware of that. But he says, get a calculator, do the math. 90s. Yeah, but he wasn't good till the 2000s. This is a wrestling podcast. We're not getting into that. Says, get a calculator, do the math, and says he's going to beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. All in all, good promo. I look at Jacob kind of like I do Randy. Not the best on the mic. Great in the ring, 100%, but not the best on the mic.
I feel like he did a really good job on this promo, though.
I think he did, too. Absolutely. Janine Wade said, hi, guys. What's up, Janine? Glad you could join us. Jello saying Jacob has got so much better at his promos. As we were just discussing. He has. He's got more than I love you, Solo, yada I mean, and all gas, no brakes. Because for a while, that was it. That's what he said.
See, if I were writing for Jacob Fatu, I would have told Drew McIntyre after WrestleMania, you can be just like me, be all gas, no brakes, because I'm going to beat the brakes off
of you. Janine saying, I think Jacob embracing his past is great. It shows anyone can turn their life around and live their dreams. Absolutely. Great point. Because it really does show that. I can get out there and I can make things happen. I'm not who I was. Got a follow from, I apologize if I don't say this correctly, but Shavante Lee.
That's right.
Coming in with the follow. Appreciate you. Glad to have you here. So let's talk about R-Truth and Damian Priest going up against Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller.
Let's do it.
Grayson Waller. Somebody's been in the gym. He was looking good. Better than he has in a long time.
I think he stole Randy Orton's vitamins.
Yeah. Better than Hulk Hogan's vitamins, I'm just saying. Brother. So we get the R-Truth chance when we get started. But as we start off, the New Day kind of takes the ball and runs with it. You get Truth shoving Kofi into the ropes. Waller trips. We get the hot tag. Priest walks on the rope. He does old school. And I like the fact that he still does that. Taker's not here anymore. He doesn't do it anymore. I'm glad that Damian keeps that alive.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't normally when he comes down. He does what Taker did. He walks the rope, comes down with the big clubbing arm. Not this time. This time he comes off with a cross body block, which looked really good. And then R-Truth started being R-Truth. And he got in the New Day's corner, looking for a tag, and I don't, I don't, I don't understand what he's doing. But he got the whole. He started clapping with the crowd as they were going, "New Day sucks." While he's in the New Day's corner trying to get a tag from Kofi Kingston, it's a whole thing, man.
Well, he took a backtrack to 2008 whenever him and Kofi were tag teaming.
See, I think that's how his mind works. But you know what? I'm here for it. But he does tag himself in, and he does the five moves of doom, and everybody's going off. They want to see the shuffle, right? They want to see the five knuckle shuffle. And not only did they got one, they got two. Damian Priest says, "Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope. What the hell?" Okay. So Truth and Damian Priest do the five knuckle shuffle. Uh, they hit the Shatter Machine Heart Attack, and 1, 2, 3 still your tag team champions are Truth and Damian Priest. The whole damn truth.
I like it.
Um, Janine wants to know, Mike, why are you in the dark?
I'm not in the dark. I got a light.
Well, there you go. He has the light. Mike is the light. That's why.
I am the light, my child. What you seek is flame.
Jello says, I believe they're purposely not telling Damian Priest how the matches are going to end just so they can see his reaction. And if they are doing that, they need to keep doing that. Because when they won the tag titles, he was like, wait, what? We won? Are you kidding me? So yeah, they need to keep that up.
Absolutely. I think that's great, and I think Damian Priest being the straight man off of our Truth comedy is absolutely impeccable.
Golden.
Actually, he put out a deal on Twitter the other day saying that the Judgment Day is back on SmackDown and we're the new improved. We don't have any of the dead weight anymore. We just got me, Priest, and Rhea, and that's it.
Speaking of that last name you just said, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, they have a little bit of a talky talk.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Cargill gets in the ring, fixing to say something, doesn't get the chance. This is my booty. Here comes mommy. She says, nope. Shh. She walks in with the fans just going off, mommy, mom, and Vegas is a rowdy. They're a rowdy crowd. They're no Texas crowd, but they're a rowdy crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So the chants were pretty loud, and she tells Jade straight up, you know what? I think you're scared. I think you're scared of me. Said she couldn't wait to embarrass Jade. B-Fab, of course, Jade doesn't come out without her entourage of B-Fab and Mishin. B-Fab says the only person who should be embarrassed is Rhea. And the fans let it be known they're not thrilled about B-Fab saying such things. With her little entourage, Rhea says that Jade's hiding behind them. She hides behind social media. She hides behind B-Fab and Mishin. She hides and hides and hides. So she challenged her to face her alone in the ring. Just the two of them. Leave your little friends behind when we get to WrestleMania. Then proceeded to call her, and if you're under the age of 18, earmuffs. Not you, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
Rhea says she's a narcissistic, selfish, fake-ass bitch.
Ooh.
Like, went off. Jay walks off, chorus of boos. It's not the ending I would have given it if I had to pencil. Like, I would have left a little bit of heat there. But Jade walking off it got the job done. So, your thoughts on that?
Ultimately, these kind of situations that they have right now, you're not going to get people that are going to jump on a plane and go, oh, that promo was badass. Let me just go ahead and get on the plane right now and go to Vegas. You might be able to get some locals that want to come to WrestleMania because of it, but with the way they're doing all the SmackDown before to the Raw after, it's all the same situation. So you're not going to get anybody to fly in for anything. But local walk up may increase because of something that somebody says. Um, Everybody was already ready for this Jade versus Rhea match. So all in
They
all,
touched on everything except their mamas, so there
yeah,
wasn't a lot left to say.
yeah, we don't talk about others' mamas.
No, we don't talk.
That's just not nice.
You can talk about Rhea's mama. I know it. Mrs. Ripley.
Yeah.
That's how I talk about Rhea's mama.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Ripley is a wonderful lady. So that takes us. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, after that, we actually had a wrestling match.
We did. Tiffany Stratton versus the future Mrs. Jello, Jordan Grace. Jello might have kind of a thing for Jordan Grace.
Well, I mean, validated because she's a specimen.
She is. She absolutely is. And Jello in the chat saying, "Can you over promote a match?" Absolutely, you can. There comes a point where when you whip a dead horse long enough, people lose interest. So they stop watching those segments where they're talking back and forth. And as they stop watching the interactions, they start losing interest in the match itself. So absolutely, you can over promote a match.
Yep.
Tiffany Stratton, Jordan Grace, already set up to be a good match. We got a "Let's Go Tiffy" chant going during her crazy flurry of offense. What I liked though, I like the way Jordan Grace, like she's getting worked over, and then she flips it around and just starts headbutting. Wow. I can say this because again, she doesn't know where I live. She seems to be a bit hard headed because that is effective as hell.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, of course, Stratton hits a somersault stunner followed by the PME, gets the win 1-2-3. Now, I believe because of that match, we get Tiffany versus Julia, perhaps at Backlash.
It may be SmackDown.
It may be. I haven't heard exactly when the match is going to happen, but my understanding was this was number one contenders match. Figure out who's going to go up against Julia for the women's U.S. title.
Yeah, and Julia was ringside watching everything.
Oh, you'll have to excuse me. I've had some allergies going on and makes me cough a little bit. Jello says, "Careful now. I don't want no problems with Jordan's husband."
Hell.
You could take him. Come on now.
Yeah, he's only 5'2", so.
So then we have the man himself, Mr. Whoop-Down, Trick Willie. Comes out. Of course, he's got Little Yappy with him, or whatever his name is. Little Yachty. Excuse me, Little Yachty.
No, he didn't have Little Yachty with him.
Oh, he didn't have Yachty with him. Yachty didn't show up till Mania.
Right.
He came out sans Little Yappy. I don't like that dude, if y'all can't tell.
He brought out a gingerbread man is actually what he brought out.
He did, in fact. Here's the thing. They have to be real careful and figure out what they're going to do with Trick Williams. Because he's obviously supposed to be a heel. But he gets some of the biggest pops every time he comes out.
I honestly think we fixed that at Mania where it went the other direction.
Yeah, I think he's babyface now, but so Drake calls Sami Zayn. Say what?
So in this whole segment, the whole gingerbread man that comes out in the costume and everything else, and I was sitting there totally just waiting for, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" The Muffin Man.
I'm going to it. I'd have popped. I ain't gonna lie. But like you said, Trick Williams says, "You done hurt my boy Yachty. You done did this. You done did the Sami Zayn. Get out here." And out walks the gingerbread who has to hold his head on to get into the ring. Uh, I thought it was funny. I dug it. I laughed about it. But I
Yeah.
did spend the entire segment waiting for the head to come off and it either be Yachty or Carmelo Hayes. And I was hoping for Carmelo Hayes.
Well, Carmelo Hayes ended up having some personal things that he needed to take care of that weekend. So that's why everything happened the way it happened.
Absolutely. See, Janine knows it is the one on Drury Lane.
Yeah.
So Sammy is not impressed with the whole gingerbread thing. So he comes up and they about booed him out of the building. And if I'm not sadly mistaken, I heard a "We Want Mellow" chant.
We sure did.
Um, he decides, look, I used to like you, Trick. I used to think you were the next up and comer, but now I just think you're a punk rookie. You got no plan. To which Trick answered, I am the plan. So, um, notes here. There. Okay. Trick says Sammy threw all his accolades away because this rookie got in the game. I'm the reason you're not making it big because I'm here.
Well,
So Sammy said,
I was going to say after that we kind of got physical.
yeah, we did get a little physical. Trick, of course, played off the gingerbread man thing again. He's like, I'm standing in a ring with two gingerbread men. And Sammy's like, oh, that's so funny. And then Haluva kicks the gingerbread man's head backwards,
Mm-hmm.
like spun it all the way around. And everybody was pissed. Like the whole crowd was not happy about this.
No, not at all.
Trick hit Sammy with the trick knee, stood over him, posed with the belt. It was a good point to stop that and save the rest for WrestleMania. Like that was a good bookend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have the match that's
I dug it.
what's up?
Said I dug it.
I did. I dug it too. Jello saying Little Yachty has a voice that reminds me of another celebrity Screech. I mean, is it a good podcast if you don't get at least one Saved by the Bell reference? I'm just saying.
Well, at least it was that one.
That takes us to Charlotte Flair versus Lyra Valkyria. At least it was supposed to be. Because before we could get anything started, Nia Jax and Lash Legend hit the ring, laid out Charlotte, laid out Lyra, laid out Alexa, laid out Bayley, laid everybody out. And I thought, here come the Bellas. Bellas are going to come out and handle this. And then I remembered, Nikki Bella's hurt. And they haven't made mention of anything about that yet. So maybe the Bellas don't come out. So that's what we got was our women's tag team champions standing over the bodies of their opponents for WrestleMania.
Yes.
This takes us into what has become a staple of the SmackDown before WrestleMania, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, we actually got two entrances. Everybody else came to the ring, but we got two actual entrances. That would be Royce Keys and Joe Hendry.
Yeah, he ain't showing up. We didn't say it loud enough.
I mean, if he did, that would be kind of cool. But this match is the who's who of the SmackDown roster mid card. We had Aleister Black. We had Tozawa. We had, I think everybody we had Kit Wilson. We had Johnny Gargano. We had Tama Tonga. We had, of course,
Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, we had Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, we had Fraxium in there. Like it's a who's who. Probably one of the funniest things to happen. Johnny Gargano was doing the Johnny Gargano where he's planking on the mat, and Kit Wilson tripped over him and fell over the top rope, eliminated. How toxic was that?
That's because he is cursed.
Yes, yes, he is, and I'm here for it. Tala Tonga. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the last three in the ring were Otis, Talatonga, and and Royce Keys.
Before we got to the last three, Tala Tonga eliminating both El Grande Americanos. You know, OG and V2. And the reason I bring that up is the crowd was mad. Like, I think they wanted both of the Los Grande Americanos to stay in the match. Like the crowd, they got some heat for that. And of course, Aleister Black's in there, and he's taking out the indie darlings. He took out Nakamura, he took out Dragunov, took out Tozawa, and he took out Joe Hendry. He gets eliminated by Royce Keys. Talatonga eliminated a bunch of the fan favorites, but in the end was also eliminated by Royce Keys, who is your 2026 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. And congrats to him. I thought that was a good way to go.
Yeah, it was a pretty good. We had the Cody interview after that, or the Cody go home promo segment. He came out, addressed what Randy had said before, and before he could really get into what was going on, we get CM Punk's music.
Mm-hmm.
CM
The
Punk walks
nines,
up.
by the way, was Mr. Punk.
Yes. The last time he was in a suit was when Teddy Long got married.
As we found out during their little promo.
And are you wearing a bow tie?
That was great. I popped. I'm not gonna lie. Are you wearing a bow tie?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it was them giving each other flowers. I think my favorite part of it though was when Punk put his hand out to shake Cody's, and Cody says, "If I come over there and shake your hand and hug you, are you going to kick me in the balls?"
Yeah.
Because at this point, if you're Cody Rhodes, you have to ask.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Everybody,
happened too many times not to.
all the popular kids are doing it.
Apparently. Kevin Owens did it. John Cena did it. Randy Orton did it.
He did it.
It's kind of a thing now.
Yeah. So at this point, he has to ask. But it really was good to see them give each other their flowers and get ready for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
All in all, good go home show. Like, I give it a strong B plus.
I give it a B.
They did a good job of moving or bookending storylines for Mania and adding a few extra things in there. So I give it a B plus. I liked it. So let's talk about some WrestleMania, shall we?
Let's do it.
Next one, we had the Vision and I Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight. I'm not gonna lie, I had it in my head that this was going to be the death. Like, we can name this match the death of I Show Speed. But the kid did all right.
Yeah, he got some ups.
He took some bumps. I like that he threw some offense at LA Knight, and LA Knight just kind of looked at him like, "Are you kidding me?" And then proceeded to whoop on him. As the match went on, though, you could see Austin Theory getting a little more upset, and a little more upset, and a little more upset with I Show Speed.
Mm-hmm. Tension's building.
Like, at one point hitting him inadvertently, and then talking back and forth, which is what cost them the match.
Yeah.
Of course, the Usos, LA Knight win the match, and Logan Knight is losing it for Logan Knight. See what I did? LA Knight, the Usos, they're celebrating, but they're not going anywhere. Like, they're standing right there at the end of the ramp. And Logan Paul loses his ever-loving mind. You ruined my WrestleMania. You ruined Austin Theory's WrestleMania. This is your fault. So he beats on him, puts him on the table, is about to climb up and jump off, and here come the Usos and LA Knight. Drop him, hit him with the 1D, said, "Nope, you ain't going." until I show Speed. Now you get up there. We're gonna put him on the table. You go land on him. And that's exactly what he did. He had to think about it for a minute, and I would have had to think about it for a lot longer than he did. But he went from ring post to announce table with a hell of a splash. The problem being, I don't know if anybody else caught this or if anybody's talked about it. He's going out for the frog splash. Right before he hits, he braced like this and put his elbow, both his elbows, right in Logan Paul's chest. I felt, only time you'll hear me say this, I felt sorry for Logan Paul. Because that had to hurt. But good match. He got to yeet with the Usos in LA Knight. So he went from a face to a heel to a face in a matter of a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So good way to start Mania. Like I thought it was a good start.
Oh yeah, they did a good job.
Then we move into Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, the unsanctioned match. And holy hell, they beat the hell out of each other.
Did you see the look on Drew McIntyre's face when the toolbox got brought out?
Oh, absolute fear. Flashbacks.
Yeah. He has some unresolved things going on with that thing.
Yeah, he don't do toolboxes at all. Not since CM Punk tried to take his head off with one. What'd they say? 15 stitches in his scalp from the last time he got hit with that? Like, it's understandable. But they broke tables. They used chairs. They did all sorts of craziness. In the end, though, Jacob Fatu able to get the 1, 2, 3.
Yes, he did.
Now, you've been doing this a while, Mike. Is there, like, how does this work out now that this is an unsanctioned match? So does the win count for anything other than he won the match, or?
Technically, the unsanctioned matches are not supposed to go on your record, but it just depends. It actually depends on the promotion how they're really gonna call that.
We take it to the women's tag titles: the Irresistible Forces versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins. But wait, no, we don't have the Bella. Well, we have the Bella Twins. They walk out. But Nikki says, I just had surgery 2 weeks ago. I'm not medically cleared, but I am not going to take this opportunity away from my sister Bree. So I made a phone call to a friend. And out walks Paige. Welcome home.
Biggest pop of the night.
Absolutely it was. People lost their minds over that. And well deserved. Like, we haven't seen Paige in, 8 years?
Yeah.
So she makes her way back. We get a good match. Can we talk for just a second about Alexa Bliss? Her look with the death moth on her back and the whited out. Hers pretty.
Yeah.
It was a very, very good tribute, I think.
Yes, it was.
Like, I really, really dug it. Everybody got a chance to shine. This one went a little faster than was anticipated. I think once we saw what happened, though, we all knew how this one was going to turn out. Your winners and new women's tag team champions, Brie Bella and Paige. This is what Paige does. Paige shows up, wins titles.
Yep.
First night on Raw, what happens? She beats AJ Lee, and she's the Divas champion.
Mm-hmm.
Handles business for a while. Goes somewhere to learn another move. Comes back. First night back, she's at WrestleMania, wins tag titles. That's what she does. That's the way I see it, anyway. Jello's in the chat says, after the match, the IWC was talking about Speed the same way they talked about Logan Paul after his first match. I get that. I mean, he did really well. Is he an outsider in the world? Yeah. In the world of wrestling? Yeah, kind of. Is he handling his? Yeah, definitely. I mean, he definitely got his WrestleMania moment.
Very much so.
This brings us to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. AJ Lee versus the man, Becky Lynch, and the look on Becky Lynch's face when Jessica Carr made her way down to the ring.
What is this bitch doing?
That was an unhappy Irish lass. Have I ever seen one?
Well,
She was.
justified.
I mean, what are you, Wade Barrett now?
I didn't say I had bad news.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I got some bad news for Becky Lynch. She gets up in Jessica Carr's face during the match one more time and puts hands on her. I'm beginning to think Jessica Carr may put some hands on her more than just the push she got in the middle of this match.
Oh, absolutely. I see that coming.
I'm waiting.
I'm honestly thinking that that's going to be a Saturday night's main event deal. Is Becky Lynch versus Jessica Carr.
I'm here for it. I want to see it happen. You know, Jessica Carr has been in the PC for a while, so getting that training in. This was a good match. All in all, it was a good match. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. You're not going to have a bad match. Both of them
No,
shined well. Right there in the middle of the match, like I said, Becky gets up in Jessica Carr's face, pushes Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr pushes her right back. That should have been the end of the match, technically. She put her hands on the referee. The referee calls for the bell. That's the way that should have went.
well, apparently it's WrestleMania, so we don't necessarily do disqualifications at WrestleMania.
And we're going to talk about that fact a little later also. But in the end, Becky Lynch does get the win. She wins the IC title back and couldn't be happier about it. AJ Lee obviously emotional about it and in the back. And she said that even though she lost the title, if you didn't get a chance to see her entrance, she had nieces and family members all dressed up like her, skipping down to the ring. It had IC belts on. It was really, really cool.
I honestly think that one of those kids was Rue.
I thought so too until I saw him pull Rue out of the crowd. Like I saw fan footage. Becky walking out and she leaned over the rail and got Rue and took her to the back with her.
Ah,
I thought it too. I was like, please, Lord, let one of those little girls be Rue. For those that don't know, Rue is Becky and Seth's daughter. The one whose favorite wrestler is AJ.
AJ
Lee. I would have loved to have been the case though. But we go from one of Rue's parents to the other of Rue's parents, Seth Rollins versus Gunther. I think we all knew where this was going when we started.
Oh,
Right?
uh, man, this was the match of the night for me. It really was. Seth Rollins, Gunther, they go out there and they beat the hell out of each other. In fact, I sent you a picture a couple of days ago where it was right mid chop with Seth Rollins, and it was like indented like 3 inches inside Gunther's chest.
Neither one of them was holding back anything on these chops.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of surprised me after taking the kind of chops he did from Gunther to see Seth get up and start giving him back at that level. Like this whole match was brutal.
Yeah, Seth Rollins gave him a CVS receipt.
Pretty much.
That thing was long.
Of course, in the end, they're outside the ring, and out comes Braun Breaker, spears Seth, throws him back in the ring, and Gunther locks in the sleeper, and Seth takes a nap.
Yes.
He didn't tap, he didn't give, he passed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think that this is the end of Seth and Gunther. I know it's not the end of Seth and Braun Breaker.
Oh, absolutely.
We then get to our Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. I was very, very excited for this match. I had predicted early on, and I will say, I'll throw it out there. I will say I was wrong. I had predicted that during this match, Roxanne Perez was going to come out and turn on Liv Morgan. Roxanne Perez did come out, just didn't turn. It turned into kind of a numbers game. I mean, first we were having a good match.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer, of course, hitting the Devil's Kiss, which I always love when that happens. Liv Morgan hitting quite a few moves herself. She hit the Code Breaker, twice?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to me that they still call it the Code Breaker. She hit a backstabber.
I do believe WWE actually owns the rights for the name Code Breaker. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes all the sense in the world. But in the end, we do get Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez come out. They try to interfere, get backed off. Stephanie Vaquer goes flying and takes them both out. But that's just enough for Liv to throw her into the steps, put her back in the ring, hit Oblivion, 1, 2, 3, and new Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan, the greatest women's champion of all time.
You got to be careful when you do that. We only have an hour and a half for this program.
That's true. We don't have an hour and a half. I can't do it like she does. And she's going to keep doing it, and that's the saddest part of it.
For sure.
Can we talk about Liv's entrance?
Sure.
I can't stand that damn song. Her Trouble song, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You don't have a choice, sir.
It's like if Britney Spears and Kesha, if Britney Spears' music and Kesha's music had a baby and it drowned. That's what this thing sounds like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm not necessarily a fan of her singing, but apparently a lot of people are. So
Jello in here saying, I have a dream, Stephanie and the Demon in a AAA mixed tag team match. Yes, please.
Yeah, there was actually a still picture shot with Finn in the Demon outfit and Stephanie Vaquer in her stuff, and they were looking at each other.
I love everything about that.
Yes.
I need that in my life. I'm going to need everybody watching to speak that into existence because, yes.
That'd be a fun backlash match.
It would. It would be a really cool backlash match.
Liv and Dom versus the Demon Finn and Stephanie Vaquer.
Jill's just thinking about that entrance. They
Well,
could both do the thing.
Yes, they both could do the thing.
Hey,
like that. You know who else did the thing?
Who else did the thing?
John Cena did the thing.
John Cena did do the thing. And
he came out and he announced that there were 50,016 people in the crowd.
However, his number was slightly off because out walks Bianca Belair. No long ponytail this time. She had her hair done up real nice. Gets to the ring, says you can't have WrestleMania without the EST, and EST has some news, so let's go ahead and put it out there. And she unzips her coat so that we can realize that we have 50,816 and a half because Miss Belair is with child.
Yes.
Now we know what Tez has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy to hear. I'm happy for Tez and Bianca. That's awesome. They're going to be great parents, and I'm so happy to hear they're going to have a kid.
So there's one thing that I saw. The last match that Bianca Belair had was a triple threat match with Rhea
Rhea and
and
Io.
Io Sky.
Yeah,
The last match that Naomi had was a
triple
triple
threat
threat
with Rhea and
with
Io.
Io.
All right, ladies. PSA: do not have triple threat matches with Rhea and Io if you're not ready to have a baby.
Exactly.
Because apparently, Rhea and Io make you pregnant.
Shall we talk about the elephant in the room now?
I guess we're going to have to. That elephant, of course, being Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. A lot of build up to this match, but I've heard a lot of back and forth on this. Some people were excited for this match. A lot of other people say that all the extracurriculars with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee and all that actually pulled their attention away from it, pulled their interest
Yeah. I was not really a fan of this match. You know, yes, the match between Cody and Randy, while it was just Cody and Randy, was good.
away
They had good back and forth. They've always had great chemistry. But we have a we have the deal where we always know when Charles Robinson's in the main event, he's going to get bumped.
from it.
So Randy Orton, Randy Orton bumps Charles Robinson, hits the RKO out of nowhere from Cody Rhodes coming from the top, trying to do his version of the Cody Cutter, and Pat McAfee runs from the back with a referee shirt on and a neck brace. And he goes in there and he counts 1, 2. Cody gets his shoulder up. Pat McAfee stops dead in his tracks. And Randy Orton said, "You were supposed to count 3. Guess what you get? You get an RKO for your troubles."
KO out of nowhere. And why was it that Pat McAfee was in a neck brace? Because before the match started, he got thrown onto an announce table that Jelly Roll jumped onto. And when I say that the announce table did not fall apart as it normally does, it exploded. I'm talking
Yeah.
shrapnel. This is why
It,
Pat McAfee had the neck brace on when he came down in the referee shirt.
mm-hmm.
And we get the crossroads. We hit the Cody Cutter. We hit the crossroads. 1, 2, 3, and still champion. However, Randy not happy about this. Takes the belt, hits Cody with it. Cody's on the ground, moving around, and Randy sees something that an opportunity he hasn't had in a while, and runs through and tries to punt his head off.
Yes, very much so.
And later in the night, during the post match, we see a picture of Cody who cannot even open his eye.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It looked horrible.
But all in all, that actually happened. His eye ended up having that deal where they collided heads whenever he went for that Cody Cutter, and Randy caught him with the RKO off the top or from the top.
It was a good match. It just seemed a little disjointed, and I will say that threw a whole lot of people off, myself included. I assumed Randy was going to win this match,
Well,
so they threw me off with this with Cody getting the win. And I also feel like maybe that was the right move.
it was the right move, but honestly, with Pat McAfee going in there and sliding in and having this whole agenda together about Randy saving the business and stuff, the way it should have been is he should have just counted 3 regardless of the shoulder going up. That way there would have been a gripe and they would have had more story to play off of it later.
Agree.
That's where it fell apart and didn't make sense for me anymore. Why
Agree with you.
why all of a sudden is he going to go ahead and follow the rules?
One was good. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. Let's talk about some night 2. We started the show with the match everybody was talking about. The Ruler versus the Beast Incarnate. Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. I was stoked for this match.
Oh,
This match was 4 minutes and 45 seconds of just beating the hell out of each other.
yes. They had Brock Lesnar hit him in the corner, give him a couple of gut shots. Obafemi comes out, clotheslines the hell out of him. The people pop. Brock Lesnar gets back up, tries to clothesline Oba twice to no avail. Brock comes back off the ropes again. Oba clotheslines him one more time. Big pop. Brock goes back underneath him, gives him a suplex, grabs a hold of him, gives him an F5. Oba didn't even stay down for 3 seconds before he was back up, grabbed a hold of him, choke slam, fall from grace. That's all she wrote.
And I thought it was great. I thought that's how it should work. I thought that was Brock Lesnar passing the torch. And that's kind of what I saw this match at as going into it. What I didn't see happen, and what I'm pretty sure nobody in the back saw happening based on things I've been reading that we may find out on Raw next week. Brock Lesnar sits in the ring. Well, first off, he lays in the ring because that was a hell of a match. He needed a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sets up, he looks around, he takes his gloves off, he looks around again, like teary eyed, pulls the laces, off come the boots. He leaves his boots and his gloves in the middle of the ring. Paul Heyman is a wreck. He walks out, throws the X. That's it. Brock Lesnar's done. Brock Lesnar has retired from WWE wrestling.
Yes.
Nobody saw it coming. Not till SummerSlam, anyway. Because, I mean, the plan all along has been for him and Gunther to fight at SummerSlam, which may still happen. You never know. Looking over at the chat, J-Reb saying, I know you talked about Braun and Seth already, but don't know if you mentioned Braun being back on the concussion protocol. We are going to talk about that here in just a minute when we hit Raw. Intercontinental Championship, the ladder match, you had Penta, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, Rusev match of the night for me. Non-main event match of the night for me.
Yeah, non-main event match of the night. These guys went out there and they did everything they could to give the people what they paid to see.
I don't know how JD McDonough is still alive. Some of the things he took I'm not even sure. It wasn't exactly
Mexican
a cutter.
Destroyer.
Well, we're not even talking about that. He took a shot from Javon Evans. Javon coming off the ropes, knocking him off the ladder and out of the ring. Then he comes back in and does a Spanish fly with Dragon Lee off the ladder. And then Penta gives him a Mexican Destroyer onto a ladder. Like, I don't know how this dude's still alive.
Rusev the same way.
Yeah, Rusev took it ugly. Rey Mysterio like came off the ropes and pretty much rode him down to a ladder that snapped in half, of course. Rey ate the ladder with his face. I don't think that was intentional, but it happened. Javon Evans, that boy bouncy, and he bounced all over the damn place. All of these guys put it all out there, and kudos to every single one of them in that match. But in the end, it was Penta retaining the IC championship. I was impressed. I loved everything about it.
Absolutely. Good match.
It
Very
really
good
was.
match.
We had United States Championship Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, and Little Yappy showed up
Yes,
and
he
gave
did.
him a Sunday morning praise and worship kind of entrance, which was kind of funny. Like, I mean, he did a good job with it. I noticed he kept the bass in his voice the whole time, which is new for him.
So let's talk about the trick train.
Let's talk about it.
I said something about a CVS receipt. Anybody ever had a CVS receipt? That thing is like 14 miles long, and that's for 2 items. So
Yep.
Trick walks out, and then this train behind him just
Train at
keeps
his
going
coat.
and going and going, and it took 6 people to pick it up and bring it back. They said it weighed like 200 pounds.
I made the comment when he was walking out. Did he step in some toilet paper or what? What are we doing here? Because it was crazy. And Jello makes a good point. Trick was actually straining against the train at the end, trying to drag it.
He was blown up already. He's like,
They hadn't even got to the ring yet. It
he's
was a
like,
good
shoot,
match.
Sam.
Him and Sammy had a really good match. I was impressed with it. Of course, Sammy took his eye off the ball, had to throw Yachty into the barricade a couple of times. Got back in the ring. In the end, Trick Williams able to get it done. 1, 2, 3, and new United States champion with his lemon pepper steppers, Mr. Whoop Dat.
Very much so. Very good. Very good match. I enjoyed it. It was quick, but it was all that they really needed.
We're going to talk about this here in a minute, but it was quick, but it was long enough to tell the story.
Yes, absolutely. It did what it
Yep.
needed to do.
Yeah, exactly. It did what it needed to do. This brings us to the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This being turned into a street fight, which Dominic was not happy about.
I don't think Dominic was happy about anything.
No, he wasn't happy about facing the Demon. He wasn't happy about it being a street fight. Wasn't happy about being in Vegas. Wasn't happy about being alone. But we got a pretty cool entrance for Dominic Mysterio. Great big Aztec looking throne, bunch of people carrying him out. One of those people being our very own friend of the podcast, Gino Rivera. Gino told you so. Kind of cool to know he was there. He was a part of all of that. I thought that was really, really cool. And then we get the entrance that I was waiting for. The Demon makes his return to WrestleMania after 3 years. And I believe the one thing he learned through all of this is I don't like streamers. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a cool effect. The streamers come out and it looks like blood, but he's fighting those damn streamers all the way to the ring.
He's like, damn it, I left Japan for this shit.
This match was awesome. It was everything I wanted it to be. There were moves where, Finn's down and he just kind of picks himself back up. That whole demon, good stuff. I will say Dom got in more offense than I thought he was going to, and looked good doing it. But in the end, the Demon, you can't beat the Demon. 1, 2, 3, your winner, the Demon Finn Balor.
Absolutely.
And
everybody knew it was going to be that way. Everybody.
No, of course. And we've learned that you don't play FAFO with an Irishman.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happens. That takes us to the WWE Women's Championship. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Here's what I'll say about this match. Jade Cargill looked the best she's looked in WWE during this match. She made Rhea work, which is more than has happened in a lot of her other matches. That's not saying anything negative against Jade as far as previous matches, but she made Rhea work in this one. and she looked good doing it. So kudos to Jade for taking that next step forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, those two actually went out there, and I think that was the best match that Jade has had her WWE career as of right now.
100% it
And
was.
she went out there, she went the extra mile, Rhea went the extra mile, and ultimately that nice little reversal. We went from a jaded Rhea broke her way out, slid underneath, right into the riptide, and then it was human origami at that point.
Human Origami, 1, 2, 3, and new WWE Women's Champion. Now, let's not forget, talking about going the extra mile, that's what it looked like when Io Sky ran down the ramp to come out there and help Rhea because B-Fab and Michin came out. She ran for at least 45 minutes trying to get down that ramp. And finally gets there. She's up on the apron. Jade goes to kick. She hits a backflip, takes out B-Fab and Michin, and that's what leads into what you were just talking about for the ending of the match. All in all, I dug it. I thought it was great.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a very good way to do that. John Cena comes out again. Let everybody know 55,000 and some change for night 2. And unfortunately, this ends his duties as the master of ceremony. So he is going to bid everyone adieu. And
No, 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 no.
that's exactly what the Miz said. He and Kit Wilson make their way to the ring. Says, "You stole my WrestleMania moment last year. You're not going to do it this time. Don't cheer him. All of you, shut up. Don't cheer him." And then the music hits, and out comes Danhausen with a lot of little Danhausens.
Yes, those 45 miniature. He had mini me's.
He had very many me's. Say that 3 times fast. And it's funny because we're in the ring and John Cena is just losing it. He thinks this is hilarious. And Kit Wilson starts yelling and screaming and stuff. And Danhausen points to one of them and says, "Get him." And he walks over and does a straight punch, straight out. Catches Kit Wilson right in the junk and sends him out of the ring. Or sends him to the corner and then tells the rest of them, "Get him." And they all go to attack him. He rolls out of the ring. It goes back to in the ring. The Miz is throwing little people around. It was insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miz gets the junk shot from Danhausen. Danhausen does the little claw thing like that. And he looks at John Cena, and John Cena says, "It's all yours." So he turns the claw thing over and goes, "You can't see me." And then he says, "You can't see me," and does the smoke, and it didn't work. He's still standing there. He's like, hold on, let me disappear. Like the whole thing was hilarious.
It was great. Really was.
I enjoyed that little segment. And it was a good little laugh before we got to the serious World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, the match everybody's been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
This match went 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Longer than any other match on either night. Yeah, we had a little back and forth in this one. CM Punk, you just can't keep him down. Roman Reigns should have been down after the jump off of the ropes onto the announce tape. Like these guys beat each other down. Technically, should have ended the match whenever Roman Reigns picked up the steel steps. But this is WrestleMania, so we're not doing that. I feel like that comes back at some point. I feel like we talk about that.
I don't think CM Punk brings it up.
I don't think so either. That's the J-Rep says Roman should have been had a DQ. He should have because he used the steel steps.
Yeah, I think Damien actually said that exactly at the same time that it happened. He said, "Shouldn't it just be a DQ?" And no, they let it go.
In the end, it looks like Punk's going to get the win. He hits the GTS. Roman hits the ropes, comes and lays back across Punk's shoulders again. He stands up. Just can't do it. His whole body gives out. We end up with Roman Reigns getting the pin, getting the spear, and then the pin. 1, 2, 3, and new World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. And that is night 2 of WrestleMania. Now, there is one thing I want to touch on in the after show. Roman Reigns is out, and the crowd starts chanting Oba. It's like, yeah, okay. And then the crowd starts chanting, Oba's gonna kill you. Now, I want you to remember, I'm talking about the same Roman Reigns who had to be told it's called a promo, kid. If you're gonna be the big dog, you got to learn how to do it. Keep in mind, we're talking about this same guy who cuts off Joe Tessitore, looks straight at the camera and says, Oba, you gonna kill me? You did a big thing tonight. I've done it many times. How about we see how you do through the summer before we decide whether or not you're ready to go up against the greatest of all time? What a pro! Just that first line, Oba, you gonna kill me? Loved it.
Yes, absolutely. That was great.
And I give night 2 of WrestleMania an A+ because of that.
Everything on night 2 was good. It made sense, and that match in particular, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, I give that match in itself an S+.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. So I'm looking at the time. It's 9:17. We've been talking. We talked a little long about Mania. So we're going to run through Raw real quick. Obafemi starts off Raw, walks out, dressed to the nines, gets to the middle of the ring, listens to the crowd chant for a little while, brings the mic to his lips, says the ruler has arrived, drops the mic, walks out. That's it. That was the intro. And that's really all that needed to be said.
No, he let his actions speak louder than anything else. And that was all that was needed at any point. Is he has his physicality. He may not be the best promo in the world, but he says what he needs to say, and then he lets his body do the rest of the work.
And that's exactly what we got here. Was he said what needed to be said. The ruler has arrived, and so I'm digging that. And we go from that to Rhea and Io. So Rio versus the Kabuki Warriors. Good back and forth in this one. We had the usual thing: split one person off, beat them down. They finally make the hot tag. A lot of back and forth. In the end, Asuka hits Kyrie, who walked right into a riptide, which was followed directly by an over the moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and still Rio.
Yes.
Sad faces, sad faces. At later in the night, of course, Rhea and Io had to say their goodbyes because Rhea is on her way to SmackDown. That is sad faces for Io, sad faces for Rio lovers, happy faces for Guapo because he's going to watch SmackDown Live tomorrow.
Yes. And he's not just watching SmackDown Live tomorrow. He's going to actually be there.
Yes, I will be there and be happy about it.
So, if you happen to see a banner that says "Not Your Average Mark," please take a screenshot of that and send it to us.
Yes, please. If you catch it, if you see it, send it to me. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, they have a little back and forth. It's not hard to tell that Cody Rhodes might be hurting just a little bit. Not only is his eye black and ugly, but he doesn't move his mouth and his jaw quite as much as he normally does when he talks. Punk thinks the backstage people think to everybody that has anything to do with anything with WWE, which is cool. I dig that. Um, he says, you never know when a world championship opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. And here comes Cody Rhodes. And they had a little bit of an exchange. Um, he took exception to the comment of Cody saying he feels like a loser. He's like, am I supposed to feel like a loser? Because I don't. I don't feel like a loser. You have that belt. Heavy is your head. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm good. Um, but he ended the promo saying again, while looking at Cody's belt, you know, perhaps an opportunity, title opportunity, will fall out of the sky. Through the mic, get out, and Cody looks at him as he's walking away and says, "Say when."
Yeah.
So Cody versus Punk is coming.
SummerSlam, possibly.
Possibly. And they may drag this out all the way to next Mania. I don't know.
That'd be fun too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good TV.
We get our first surprise of the night as Javon Evans going up against Ethan Page. All ego Ethan Page has been moved up to the Raw roster. These guys had a great match because, of course, they did. It's Javon Evans and Ethan Page. A little bit of history there between them in NXT, so you saw a little bit different side of Javon Evans in this. He's you don't like him, some Ethan Page. In the end, they were doing well, but Rusev interferes. Javon Evans tries to fight him off, slides back in the ring. Page hits the twisted grin for the win. Rusev attacks Javon Evans, which is by far the most heat that Rusev has received since he got back, by the way. And Ethan Page is a smart man because he's like, I got nothing to do with this. Let me get out the ring. This is obviously an issue between you two. Let me go ahead and back off. Smart move by Ethan Page. Penta hits the ring, takes the fight to Rusev. Ethan Page interfered in that, and then he's like, I was just helping out. I'm out now. Bye. He puts the accolade on Penta and then stands there with the IC belt and the crazy eyes, which takes us to commercial. And then we get our second and maybe my favorite surprise of the night. Liv Morgan's out talking about how great she is because that's what she does. And out walks Sol Ruka and congratulates her, says you're an inspiration. And Liv's like, maybe you don't understand where you're at. Maybe we need to fight. And Sol Ruka's like, I didn't come out here for a fight, but I damn sure ain't backing down from one. And Adam Pearce says, whoa, 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 whoa. You act like these people want to see a fight. And the crowd goes off. He's like, do you want to see a fight? And the crowd goes off again. So Jessica Carr comes out. He says, you want to do this? She's like, I got this. All right, we got a match for the belt. So Ruka's first match in the main roster, and it's for Liv's title. And they have a great match. A lot of back and forth. We get to see the Soul Snatcher, which is my favorite move in professional wrestling right now. We get to see this crazy handspring flip thing out of Oblivion, which looked awesome. And then a back springboard out of the ring onto everybody. All in all, it was awesome. In the end, Sol Ruka did get beat. Liv wins with Oblivion. It was after Zarya came out and attacked her, which Zarya would have a match with her on Tuesday, which would put 9 staples in Sol Ruka's head.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman comes out, talks about Phil kissing the ass of everybody in the company, and he says you shouldn't even talk about the people in the truck because they can't get anything right because they've got Brock Lesnar listed as the now. Please put him in the forever. Gives the mic to Logan Paul, who was booed out of the building. He's sick of the outsiders coming into his business, which is funny coming from him.
I think that was the irony he was looking for, though. Really,
it was. And Heyman also gets Mike back, and he thanks the career killer Gunther. Says, "I owe you one." And then introduced Braun Breaker, who's about to come after Rollins anytime he sees it. It's on site moving forward. That's the way that's going to be. Seth Rollins, his music hits. They're all waiting for him. He comes out of the crowd, takes Braun Breaker upside the head with a chair, and when Braun Breaker stands up again, he's just gushing blood from the back of his head. Like, it was bad.
It was not pretty.
And this is what J-Rev was talking about earlier about him being in concussion protocol again because he took an ugly chair shot. But still managed to spear the hell out of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he's lucky he wasn't wearing his normal attire, because if he would have, his shoes would have gone flying out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get Finn Balor going up against JD McDonough. Finn Balor already beat Dominic Mysterio, but he's not after that. He's after the Judgment Day. So he's got a match with JD McDonough. Have we noticed? I mean, we knew this was going to be a good match, and it was a great match. Finn Balor wins the match, of course. Have we noticed that after he shaved the beard, Finn Balor did, to do the whole demon thing, he walks out and looks exactly like he did 10 years ago. Like, he's not aged at all.
No,
Like, it's crazy.
you didn't know this. Demons are immortal.
He wasn't the demon then. He was Finn Balor. Finn Balor is not immortal.
No, you see, you got it backwards. Finn Balor is the demon, but he's been wearing human makeup this whole time, just like Danhausen.
I would say he borrowed it from Danhausen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It all makes sense now. This was a good match. I enjoyed watching this. Of course, you know, the ribs of JD McDonough are completely taped up after all the things he took in that ladder match. And how do we end this match with a coup de grace right onto those taped up ribs? Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
That brings us to the end of Raw, where Roman Reigns reforms the bloodline. Like, he's walking in and he walks past the Usos and then stops and he's like, "Come out there with me." He's like, "I want you guys to. I miss all this. I want you guys to be with me. I don't want you to work for me. I want you to stand beside me." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, okay." He says that we're like this right now, and these washed-up rappers can talk trash to you because we're like this. We need to be like this. Nothing can stop us when we're like this. Out comes Jacob Fatu. And Roman says there's only two reasons you'd be out here. Either you're here to acknowledge me, which was not the case, just so you know, or you
That
want
ain't
this.
it.
That ain't it. Or you want this, talking about the belt. He's like, I don't want that. I want everything the tribal chief has. I'm out here to get the cars. I'm out here to put food on the table. I'm out here. I want everything you got. And Roman Reigns says, I'm going to give you a week to think about that. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I'm going to give you a week to think about that. He's not sure. Roman says, I'm not sure if you're ready, little cousin. Little. Jacob Fatu. He don't call his man little cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Well, I feel like Jacob Fatu has his priorities wrong with how he perceived himself on this whole stage. I feel like instead of saying I want all of this, it should have been I want to prove myself because I know I can beat you.
I agree.
But I think that's going to be the way it works is we're trying this new whole babyface tribal chief gimmick, and I think they have the match. They have a match at Backlash. Roman Roman beats Jacob, and then instead of coming out and belittling him and saying you're going to fall in line and everything else, he basically mentors Jacob and says, "Look, these are the things that you need to do so you can be ready for this point."
No, I think that works. Uh, all in all, this was a good Raw. It had a little bit of everything. We had champions, we had the ruler, we had debuts. I give it an A plus. I was happy with it.
Raw
It
after
went
that.
by so quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like it was one of those that just bam, 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 we're done. All right, we are at the 9:30 mark. We're going to go just a hair over because I'm going to throw out a couple of quick grinding my gears. Uh, Number one, the IWC, as always, make up your damn mind. Okay. Last year was the matches are dragging because they're too long and the show lasts too long. I got to stay up too late to watch the show. And why? This year, it's everything was rushed. They only got 7 minutes in the Women's World Championship match. And man, get it together. You, they complain about one thing, you fix all of it, and they complain about the fixing it.
You're never going to please the internet wrestling community, one way, shape, or form or another.
So I have noticed. Next thing. Someone come get their drunk grandpa, please. Who am I talking about? None other than the Nature Boy Ric Flair himself. This man went on a podcast, said, you know what? I don't care where I go. They should put a red carpet out for me for everything I've contributed to this business. And, I make a phone call to this little 24-year-old punk who wants to talk trash after his girlfriend or fiance or whatever wants to say things about my daughter's divorces that she's not smart enough to come up with that herself, so somebody fed that to her. I tell him I'm going to whoop his ass, and he goes and stooges to Triple H, and let me use correct terminology. He stooges to Triple H like a little bitch, and now I don't get to go to WrestleMania 42. I'm not invited because now it's political. Now it's all politics. There ain't no wrestling. It's all politics. Like he went off talking about how uh, Kaiser is afraid of a 76-year-old man, and Trips is afraid of Kaiser. And somebody come get your drunk grandpa. Seriously.
Yeah.
And
Ric Flair being Ric Flair, like always.
yeah, unfortunately. Uh, and now, finally, last thing. If you are a fan at a WWE event, if you find yourself lucky enough to be at your hotel and see one of the WWE superstars, don't go put a camera in their face. Don't follow them around. Don't. Like Drew McIntyre put out a tweet saying, for those of you that came and paid your hard-earned money to get a picture or an autograph, or those of you that brought me one of the many bracelets I've got, I love you all and thank you so much. But for those of you that followed me around the hotel and rushed me and my family and put your kids at 2 o'clock in the morning in front of us and put a camera in my face without asking, you're lucky I'm a calm person outside of the ring. Don't do that again.
Please.
Danhausen. Danhausen's talking about how all of these people are coming up to him and his wife and trying to school her on her nationality. And he's like, you don't know me, you don't know us. Stop being weird. And when Danhausen has to tell you to stop being weird,
you're pretty damn weird.
And then, of course, the one that everybody's talking about, Bailey is giving a hug to AJ Lee. Some guy's following them in the hotel with his phone out. Says, I love you, Bailey. And Bailey says, man, get out of here. And he gets his phone just almost in her face. And that's when CM Punk slaps it out of her hand. And now this gentleman wants a formal apology in person and a handshake from CM Punk. No, because you don't need to be that person. If you see a wrestler and they're with their family, leave them alone. If you see a wrestler and they're not with their family, don't rush them. Don't just run up there and get all up in their business. Like, I don't know how to say that enough. Don't be that person. Like, you've been in this business a while. I know you've seen it.
Absolutely. I've seen people do stupid things, and I've seen people get checked for stupid things.
That said, all of these people, all of these fans like that, we're gonna line them up in front of a WWE event and tell them you shall not ever again. I hate those people. I can't stand it. Yeah, that was for my son who said that in the chat. J-Reb said a lot of those guys looking for easy paydays. It's just don't be those people. Don't be those people. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
That does bring us to the end of the podcast. I do want to say, oh no, he needs you to do it, Mike. You're the one with the gray beard. You need to do the.
I'll do it at closing.
Okay, there we go. That does do it for us tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining us with this. That being said, it is now time for our final thoughts. So, Mike, for the people watching, the people listening, the wrestling world in general, the floor is yours, my friend.
I got a couple of quick things. One, man that I ended up at a show with back in 2001, Van Hammer, passed away recently. My condolences to him and to his family. And secondly, if you haven't already seen my PSA for what we're doing for May 9th, please go search it out and do me a favor and share it at least.
Anytime you see anything BCW Texas out there, give it a share. Get it out to anybody that can see it. We do a lot of cool things. This particular show coming up May 9th is for our educators. It's our teacher appreciation show. We're going to do some cool things. As the husband of a teacher, I appreciate that you put a show like this together.
Absolutely.
As far as final thoughts for me, number one, again, thank you all for joining me. I love being here and getting to do this with you guys, and you guys are the reason that we do this. So thank you so much for being here. Mike, of course, thank you for being on the show. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure having you on. Don't be that person. Leave the wrestlers alone. No, seriously, all joking aside, don't be that person. But the person you do want to be is the one that goes and checks out independent wrestling. I guarantee you, regardless of where you're at, there's independent wrestling somewhere around you. Go check it out. You will enjoy it. I'm telling you this now. And you may just see the next person that shows up at WrestleMania as an extra, and then on Raw, and then on SmackDown, and becomes the next superstar. So if you have the opportunity, go check out some independent wrestling. And I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll be back here live tomorrow night. Aaron going to run the SmackDown feed. I will be at SmackDown, so be looking for the Not Your Average Mark banner that I'm going to have out there. Until then,
you shall not pass.
There it is. We'll catch y'all next time. I'll be back Monday. Everybody else be back tomorrow night for SmackDown. Until then, love you guys. We're out. Yeah.
Yeah.